excellent. So we might as well just swing in, take out the Ajani, swing in there. Blimey, I feel like everything in our deck is just bounce. Excellent.
I hope we meet again.
Harbinger. Well, the Harbinger does shut off as Canter, but oh well. Wow, and we got a Fibblethub as well, which works with the our case of the Lost Witness thing. And you know what? Let's bounce this. This is the most amount of zombies I think I've ever made in my life in one turn. That is pretty crazy. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Hello and welcome to the channel. My name's Josh and today we're looking at Geralf, the Fleshwright. This is a really interesting deck because it cares about making creatures and zombies in particular. It's actually a pretty strong deck, and as long as you build it correctly, you can essentially have it as a storm build, which is something that kind of, I think, slipped a lot of people by. I think there's so many powerful cards out there nowadays that even something that's like an 8 or 9 out of 10 doesn't get people's attentions because the 10 out of 10s are just making everyone look. So it says whenever you cast a spell during your turn, other than the first spell this turn, you get a zombie. Then, whenever a zombie comes in, put a count on it for each other zombie that entered this turn. It's kind of wacky that it has that last bit on because it just makes kind of cascadingly larger zombies. So the idea of the deck is you want to essentially try and play a lot of cheap 1-drops, which is exactly what we've got here. We've got a lot of cantrips, Brainstorm, well, not Moxhammer, but that's a free spell, Consider, Opt, and just removal spells like Unsummon, Spell Pierce, just loads of 1-drops and things that draw, lots of 2-drops as well. The way you want to keep the flow going is eventually you are going to run out of cards, so it is like a glass cannon. But cards such as Kindred's Discovery is really nice to just keep you keep your flow going whenever a zombie comes in or attacks. You'll be drawing a card, which is just really nice too. One with the Multiverse is like a cheaper version of Omniscience, but lets you cast stuff from the top of your deck by paying mana, or once per turn you can play one thing from the top or your hand for free. So that's really excellent. Discover the Formula gets you three cards from your deck and that makes stuff in your hand cheaper. Now, obviously, it's really difficult to keep the cards up. I wanted to make it more of kind of like a foretell plot deck, but there's not too many things that actually are that good with plot in blue. We have Jace, which is kind of nice. He can plot something for +1 as long as it's 3 or less. You basically plot it and can play it next turn, so that's nice. Baral's Expertise lets you play obviously Expertise, but then an additional card, so that's 2 spells for 1. Anything that gives you 2 casts for 1, it can be a bit tricky, but even Ojopack Predict's kind of nice, gives your instance rebound. This deck does take a bit of work because it's a bit you have to kind of think outside the box. It's not always about countering stuff. In fact, we don't care about countering too much. We only have negate and counter spell and mana drain. The rest of the time you'll be facing stuff as they are on the field. We've got ways to cheapen spells to mean you can cast more spells. Brawl can cheapen instant sorceries by 1. We've got another Geralf here which can give you, well, it gives your zombies flying. This can potentially just win out of nowhere because if your opponent has loads of blockers on the floor, you've then given all of them flying, and then you can sacrifice another non-token creature to create X zombies equal to its toughness. That's kind of fun as well. There's not many creatures in the deck to do that with, but you can just make quite a lot of zombies, to be honest. So just reading that. Create an XX zombie. Oh, sorry, an XX zombie. Sorry, I read that as create X zombies though. It's still good. It's fine. If someone's going to kill one of the other creatures, turn it into a zombie. And we've got Puppet Stitch as well. Whenever you cast a spell, get a 2/2 zombie. So these are all nice things that kind of synergize together. It's interesting how Mono Blue is now in the zombie space in a horror set. So whenever you see a horror set like Innistrad or whatever, you'll be seeing zombies, apart from Duskmourn, which is just about to release. That set's a bit weird. But yes, it's a pretty fun deck. Save all your spells up, cast them later, hopefully get loads of zombies. Now, I did play this and play this in quite a bit, and I just came across some really annoying things. Like if someone has a lot of board wipes or River's Rebukes or Cyclonic Rifts, it's going to absolutely demolish you. But that's always going to be the case. One thing I did find actually is Consuming Tide is really excellent in this deck because you've got loads of mana rocks out and lots of cheap enchantments and artifacts that you can recast. Bounce them all back to your hand with Consuming Tide, then play Discover the Formula, which makes them all cost 1 less, and then kind of cast them all out, storm them all out. And it kind of basically says your opponent needs to have board wipes each turn or they're going to die. So that's kind of a cool thing for blue to have, a pressurizing physical aggro presence, which is something they don't normally have. But yeah, this is definitely a really, really cool creature. And the mechanic itself, wanting to cast 2, 3, 4, 5 spells, is kind of nice space that Wizards hasn't truly mined yet, which is nice. It means that we've still got some design space that's kind of interesting and fun, rather than just do good stuff by itself. So yeah, let's get into the gameplay. Hope you like it. Don't forget to support the channel. I really need your support. Look in the description box below, become a channel patron, get a custom video, or donate via Ko-fi, and it really helps the channel too. I don't really get much money from YouTube. It's quite sad, really. Most of this is out of love, to be perfectly honest. But I hope you enjoy today's video. Right, this hand is actually on the verge of greatness. We need to basically make sure we get our third island, because the heuristic study is going to really be fantastic. Oof. Let's just deliberate here. Stride 2, draw 1 is excellent. That's actually incredibly nice. Mox Amber plus Geralf. I cannot complain about that. Oh, all the creatures get haste. That's scary. So that's 1 spell. 2 spell. 3 spells. In 1 turn. That's pretty sick. Put those 2 back. In that order is perfect. Nice. So we've got some excellent blockers on turn 3. That is very, very rapid. Right. I think we start with the heuristic study here. They've got 3 mana up, which is a bit sus. And we just keep getting zombies left, right, and centre. I'm just going to swing these 2 because I'm scared of flashes. There are a number of green flashes that can come in. And we are the defender, to be honest, because green is just super aggressive. So the fact they didn't play that something there is terrifying, because it means their hand is full of crazy big stuff. Seeing Key to the Archive is kind of concerning. Like, what on earth is a green deck doing with this? There's so many green cards that just put lands into play. So seeing that there is mildly terrifying, especially when you consider the stuff you can get from this is really scary. You can get Approach, Day of Judgment, Time Warp, all stuff that green shouldn't have. So if we can deal with this key, that's going to be really helpful. I think this 3 steps ahead is what we're going to keep up here. A counter spell, keep us safe, keep us protected. And we can tell exactly what they got if they discarded. Oh my god, Creator Hoof discarded. That's not terrifying whatsoever. And I like that there's a land on top. That's fine. So we're just going to swing in here. They're going to block the 3 and they're going to take the 6. They're going to get on the 17. Blue Umber Cleave. Nut. Right. We're in a great position. We can cast multiple spells in their turn as well. 7 mana up. 7 mana is traditionally pretty scary. Approach. Do I actually care about that? I kind of do. I don't want them to win out of nowhere. We can't do all of these. Oh, okay. So they just concede on the stack. Kind of interesting thing there. There's something to be said about pausing before spells. I don't know. That was a very bizarre green deck that didn't have their natural curve of Llanowar Elves and to cultivates and stuff. Seeing stuff like this, if you're watching anyone who uses artifact rocks in green, I would suggest not, because this is why. Green is the only colour that doesn't rely on rocks to ramp, and artifacts are the riskiest type of ramp because they can be blown up by things like a brain and other things. I'm not saying this to make people's decks spikier. I'm just saying that green needs to lean into the fact they have cheaper elves and cheaper ways to do this. Although I will say that Key to the Archive obviously gave them an off-color threat in the approach, so that is something to be said, and maybe there were other synergies here that would have relied on approach. However, we're looking at a Lumra mill deck, self-mill deck, and looking to ramp through those means as well. So it's not like Key to the Archive enabled mill and put stuff into the play. So with Lumra, I'm not sure what was going on here. Maybe this was actually a decoy commander and something else was under the hood. But yeah, I would say probably avoid keys because, as I said, the only colour that doesn't need artifact ramp. Okay, we're facing Tatsunari Toad Rider. And our hand is pretty sweet because we've got the Mox Amber, which is a free zombie basically, after we cast the Geralf. Pretty sweet. Maybe it's a good idea to include some other 0 mana spells. Ledger Shredder. Get some ramp out. Kinder Discovery is going to be excellent as well. When we can eventually get that out and make zombies and do stuff. I feel as though Tatsunari, Swiftfoot Boots. No land drop. They are not going to like that one. Right, we go for Geralf here. Or Geralf. I honestly do not know how to pronounce that. Let's bounce this in response. Oh, another bounce spell, which makes them discard a card as well. Compelling Deterrent is really cool flavour here. This is when Innistrad sets, some of them weren't great, but the flavour for them was excellent, which is why I'm not too keen on the new Duskmourn set. I just don't feel like Duskmourn works as a horror set. I just think Innistrad, I feel like you should have one theme per plane, and when you split horror into 2, you know, Duskmourn as well as other things, it just doesn't feel right to me. But why is it not there? Zombies. Zombie! Oof. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Drawing lands is actually decent here. I mean, if we're trading up to a Surge Engine, which is an actual card with a token, that's pretty good. And it's a mythic, no less. But yeah, the fact they've not hit their 3rd land is pretty concerning, I reckon. I reckon they're going to quit very, very soon, guys. Especially when we bounce this back to their hand. And we have a zombie, which means they discard a card. I don't know why I went Australian there. Zombie. Oh, Rusko. Maybe they deserve to die, actually, to be honest. So many triggers, so many cards. Now we get zombies, and now we get cards for every card we cast past the first. Bonkers. Bonkers! I mean, props to them for sticking in so we get to pop off Queen. But, bloomin' heck. So many cards! This is so crazy. How many lands are even in their deck? Considering they have access to green, it's kind of shameful, isn't it, really? What on earth is in their hand? Must be some crazy stuff. So, go for Jace.
I'm sorry for the silence.
We'll start plotting stuff for next turn. Blimey. Zombies galore. Bibblethip enables the zombie love. Morale. Excellent. Makes stuff even cheaper. Wow. To be fair, this is just goldfishing at this point, but it's kind of cool to see how, you know, what the deck can do, given its, you know, when it's able to pop off like this. Wow. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. But again, 2 lands, not a fair fight. But seeing Ruska in the bin, I don't know. Wow, we can even do one more. Hell yeah. Oh my goodness. Negate. Island. Bonkers. And this is the kind of deck that actually really helps having loads of mana rocks, because every mana rock you play kind of half enables the next 1 drop or 2 drops. That's awesome. Don't know why I just sad faced that game, but again, another decent hand that I like to keep. You're essentially looking for ways to keep going, so drawing cards and ramping and stuff is just really cool. If we can get Teferi down next turn, that would be good as well, just because he can ensure further land drops, which is exactly what I want to see. The only annoyance here is that Ghired has haste, so any commander with haste is a very big threat to our walkers, so maybe, actually, maybe he's not a good choice. We'll have to see. Tangible Virtue. But then I suppose what we could do... We could Geralf and then draw a card. Or Teferi. At least no, I still want to go for Teferi. Because we can protect him in the following turn. Oh, Sapphire Medallion's going to be insane. This is going to sound really weird, guys, but I'm going to get rid of the Brainstorm. I know that's really weird, but the Sapphire Medallion basically makes these two excellent choices as well. So we've got a choice now. We can phase him for -3. Or we can just draw a card, discard a card, and just tank the hit. Oh, that's an excellent top. Yeah. I think we're going to be fine. I like games like this. Makes you really think about stuff. So, we'll draw again. Land is okay, but I'd rather do something else. I think we're just going to play defensively again. We could do that. And then, actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. Oh, this is crazy. Sapphire Medallion breaks its deck open. Now it's just a 1-1. The cards like this are really quite insane. Flash, no abilities, 1-1, just crazy. Pure craziness. Blue basically has excellent removal now. The only thing blue truly struggles against really is Planeswalkers, I think. But then blue has ways to mind control. And because we have Teferi out, now it's just going to make him think, how else do we pressure the Walker? And now they're going to create a 2-2. Well, it's a 3-3 with Vigilance, actually. And they want to come in with an attack, maybe? We shall see. No? Okay. Get rid of this. Oh, and a Brawl as well. Let's draw. Brawl's not too useful here. Kindred Discovery. Holy moly. Now we're talking. Oh my goodness. Zombie. I love how I have to find and then type that. So much card draw. A land is absolutely perfect. Mystic Sanctuary. Do we have any spells? Actually, yes. I like that on top. That's perfect. We can get to Curate again. Beautiful. Beautiful. Loads and loads and loads and loads of zombies and drawing cards. Sword. I guess we'll just leave Ajani for now. Next turn, when we get sword out, we can start smacking them in the face. See, now I really, really, really want the other Geralf that gives our zombies flying. I am a bit scared of his 0, though, his ultimate. If they get 15 more life than starting, then exile each artifact and creature your opponents control. That's really quite terrifying. Prosperous Innkeeper. I think we can hold off quite well, considering every extra spell we cast past 1 gives us zombies on the card, though. We'll see. If they go for something like Crit Hoof, then obviously we just die. Bloody hell. They're spamming more than we are. Oh my god. Don't like that. Let's get some information first.
Ideas.
Oh, that's really great. Let's get a tell off their lands. Let's block. Be one of those we kill is just really great, to be honest, because of the fact that we need them
I
to,
do love a good puzzle.
I don't know, just just chill. So, how do we get through with the sword? I don't know if we do. Let's just surveil and draw first. Get something else good. Unsummon and inventive. Oh my goodness. That is really quite good. So we'll bounce the Ajani token. Holy moly, this is Synergy Central. I'm in love with this deck. I'm in love with this deck. And then we've got 3 mana up. Blimey. They're screwed, aren't they? There's no way they can keep up with us. Sword and Fire and Ice. 2 attacks. Draw a card again. Oh my. Bounce something else. Bounce the Innkeeper. Oh my goodness. That was a very fortunate. Wow. And we can play that as well later on. We've just cleared the field. Crazy. As if we've played like how many spells this turn? 4? 5? Obviously if they farewell or something like that, it's going to be horrendous. I really wish I had Harbinger of the Seas to turn off 1, 2 things, but okay, so it looks like they do not have a board wipe. Biogenic Ooze, that's pretty cool. Let's draw and discard.
Ideas.
We'll get rid of... Yeah, we'll get rid of the island here. I feel like we have far too many ways to basically draw extra lands. So we don't need to keep any. They're going to gain life. That is scary, actually. Transform. Oh my goodness, so many crazy things.
Time to improvise.
Blimey. So they can't actually block us if we've got the Sword of Forge of Frontier, because they're all green. That's excellent. So we might as well just swing in. Take out the Ajani. Swing in there. Blimey, I feel like everything in our deck is just bounce. Excellent.
I hope we meet again.
Harbinger. Well, the Harbinger does shut off as Canter, but oh well. Wow, and we got a Fibblethub as well, which works with the our case of the Lost Witness thing. And you know what? Let's bounce this. This is the most amount of zombies I think I've ever made in my life in one turn. That is pretty crazy. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Nice, this hand seems decent. We've got stuff to do when Geralf comes down. They're going to be a reanimation build. Question is, do we actually want to use any of these draw spells? Maybe deliberate. We'll keep the clock. So Magda's going to start ramping them. We'll go for the clock first. Get some ramp out, which is pretty necessary. This is a scary card, though. Definitely not what we wanted to see. Very powerful, especially once they get 5 treasures. Cheat stuff out. The interesting here is that Croxet and Kunoris doesn't actually do anything without a graveyard, because it needs stuff to resurrect. Ah, dear. Seize the spoils. You know what? I'm going to spell pierce that. Basically make them discard for no reason. Seems decent. You see a guard approach. So let's go for this. I think we're going to bounce the Magda. And we probably want to save the insignificance for something like if they get shielded out with reanimation. And the Amasto is excellent because it just makes an extra zombie and then triggers Geralf. So that's good. There's a lot of reanimation spells in the format now, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Shieldred before. Swords. Okay. It's a shame we didn't have any counter magic up. Activate only use a sorcery. Let's go. So I take it they're going to be getting the Shieldred out next turn. But if they do, we just lose 1 token, so it's not too bad, and then we can just deal with her with the significance. We can also use this as a kill spell. This is kind of like Blue Doomblade, because they block with Shieldred. We enchant it with this, and then Shieldred then just dies. Bitter Reunion. More discarding. And there goes a Sir Conrad. So we'll sack the army. Flash, lose all abilities in the space. Yeah, so that does work how I think it does. Right, so let's go for the attack. Let's see if they fall for it. Ah. Interesting. We take it out. Beautiful. That feels pretty nice, to be honest. Now we try and get another land. Another bounce spell. That would... I'm not too... Yeah, that's fine. We've got one anyway. Okay, so we'll pass the turn. We've got the Hexproof up now. We've got Brawl's Expertise. The Expertise works really, really well with the Eluge because we'll be able to play that for free. Magda. I'd like to get a land. There we go. So, Expertise. 1, 2, 3. So they could just sack this to draw a card of the Mind Stone, and nothing really feels like it's been lost. But we do slow them down significantly. This is quite a lot of stuff for them to be losing here as a tempo swing. Sacrifice another thing. Man, that's annoying. But we do get an Eluge now. Beautiful. Can't really complain. Eluge is an exquisite other way to just beat them out. And everything they bounce, we can just... Sorry, everything they play, we can just kind of temporarily return to the hand anyway. Just slowly... Sorry, temporarily get rid of it. Death Touch. That is annoying. I have to say that is pretty annoying. But I'm just glad we've got the Midnight Clock, to be honest. Let's bounce the Triton here. Yeah, the Midnight Clock's going to be really quite amazing. This is 10 damage as well, coming in. No way, they're actually going to block. Does that mean they have a board wipe? So the Midnight Clock is pretty much going to go off regardless. And the fact we have spells that cost 2 less is just incredible. I think Eluge is going to be, you know, the perfect way to round this game out. We can even give it hexproof as well. I don't know if blocking with Magno is the correct play. Because they're still dead either way in the following turn, although the Maya Triton does give them a decent blocker. It also gives them 2 life, which is kind of irritating. So we might as well try and crack this now. To be honest, we could have probably used that to tap the Maya Triton, as it's that card's going away anyway. Nice. Brawl is not what we need here. We got it back. That's kind of weird. We are literally 1 damage off lethal. Crazy how all our spells are just going to be free at this point. Yep. We have 2 to 3 protection spells depending on what they do. Dark Ritual. We'll let that one slide. Now what? Croxer? Even if Croxer resolves, it's not going to work. They need a board wipe, to be honest. So yeah, I think that'll be it for them. Not understanding how Illuge works, clearly. Ooh, brutal. Brutal. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.